Hey, what's up, everybody? It's John here for My Keto Journey, episode number 22. So, in the last couple of episodes, I've been talking about Dr. Ted Naiman's protein to energy ratio calculator and how that's kind of been a game changer for me. So, I just wanted to do a quick check in video here and show you kind of what my experience has been over the last 45 days or so, and just kind of give you an idea of what I've been doing. So, shortly before July 21st, which is when this graph starts, I went to the doctor for a bout of diverticulitis and stepped on their scale and saw 382, which of course was disheartening because that's where I was when I had a lap band installed in 2009, and that's where I've gotten to a couple times in the last year. And really just kind of sat back and reflected and said, what is it that I need to do? How am I going to figure this out? How am I going to stay dedicated to this? And of course, it still continued to research and whatnot, but just kind of went back to my old habits. Jack in the Box 2 or 3 times a day, regular Cokes, yada, yada, yada. So anyway, finally, a couple days after that, that doctor visit, started getting back on the keto bandwagon and starting to experiment with Ted's protein to energy ratio calculator and really kind of looking at the foods that I would consider keto and figuring out how that actually fits into my life. So unfortunately, when I started, it was a couple days before I was headed off for a business trip for my coaching in Charleston, South Carolina. And so in Charleston, you can see that, I'd gotten down to 366 and a half here, and I gained 7.1 pounds while I was in Charleston. Now, to be fair, I really wasn't concerned with what I was eating in Charleston. I wasn't concerned with what I was drinking, and just kind of had a good old time enjoying some southern food, shrimp and grits. Love it. And so anyway, get back from Charleston. It's toward the end of July and kind of get back on the horse, and you can see I lost that pretty quickly. Really within a day I was down 6 pounds, so that was crazy. And then pretty steep drop from there as well. My first visit with Dr. Damon was here on August 1st. I was at like 361. And then continued a pretty steady decline to 350. My goal was to really be under 350 by the time I went to Austin. And unfortunately didn't quite hit it. I was at like 350.8 the day that I left for Austin. And you can see had a pretty dramatic change while I was in Austin. And actually, when I sit back and I look at it, I wasn't great in Austin. And I felt like I was doing good in Austin. But when I actually sit back and reflect on it, I wasn't. So clearly I have a challenge with travel and maintaining my dedication to this. So anyway, came back from Austin. Now, for whatever reason, that 11 pounds took me a long time to lose. I mean, okay, it took me a week to lose 11 pounds, which comparatively speaking to the 7 pounds that I gained in Charleston that took me 2 days, a week felt like a long time. So here we're back at 350.8, and then finally cracked the 350 barrier on my birthday. Happy birthday to me on August 24th. And then this has kind of been my weight decline since then. Now, all of this is tracked on my Withings scale, now owned by Nokia. If you don't have a scale, I highly recommend picking up a Withings Body Cardio or Nokia Body Cardio scale. They're actually on sale right now on Amazon for $119, which is $30 off the normal price. I had a bit of a tragedy yesterday. My dog Titus, this cute little guy here, decided he was going to roll around in a mud puddle, and despite my best efforts of hosing him off on the back patio, which he thoroughly enjoyed, I had to take him up into the shower and really give him a good scrubbing to get all the dirt off. And despite my best efforts to contain Titus in said shower to dry him off, he got out, shook off all the water, and dumped about a gallon of water on my Withing scale, which, when I stepped on it this morning, did not function. But fortunately, Amazon is only about 30 miles that way, and they assure me that they will have me a new scale sometime this afternoon. I ordered it this morning, and it's supposed to be at my house sometime this afternoon. So we'll see. I've never actually had a free same-day shipping show up on the same day, so we'll see if that actually happens. So, anyway, this is kind of my N=1 experiment, not trying to tell people how to eat or what kind of lifestyle to live, but doing this more for accountability and trying to keep myself on track and trying to really figure out what works. Honestly, this protein to energy calculator has been a game changer for me. That combined with intermittent fasting, I'm doing a 16-hour fast every day. I try and only eat between the hours of 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Occasionally it's 6:30 or 7 o'clock by the time I finish my last meal, depending on my work schedule. But in general, mostly a 16-hour fast every day. There have been a couple of times where I just haven't been hungry during the day, and I've done like a 36-hour fast. So take that for what it is. But if you look at the overall trend of this graph, that's 26.1 pounds in 45 days, an average of just under 0.6 pounds per day. It's crazy to me. And if you add in the 18 pounds that I gained during the trips, that's an average of 0.98 pounds per day that I lost. So either way you look at that, that's fantastic. And the thing that has really frustrated me before is that I would get to not even really a plateau, but just where I'm losing like 0.1 pound here, gain 0.3 pounds there, lose 0.2 pounds, right? And just kind of get into this rut of really a grind to get the weight off. And I think right now with the protein to energy ratio calculator, when I start experiencing something like that, I can go back and look at what I've ate and plug that into the calculator and see where it falls. You know, if it's falling somewhere down here, then obviously I know I need to make some changes and get it back up in here where it's, you know, higher protein. So for me, again, my N=1 experiment, for me, what I'm trying to do is a lot of things that I've read say target the number of grams of protein to be the same as what you want to weigh. So for me, I want to weigh around 200 pounds. So I'm targeting 200 grams of protein per day. And for me, if I keep my fat at half of that or less, and keep my carbs really low, so I probably don't have any more than about 20 grams of carbohydrate per day for what I'm eating. And so keep my carbs really low and keep my fat around 100 grams or less. That's when I start getting these bigger fall-offs on the weight graph here. So that's kind of what I'm trying to target, along with the intermittent fasting, and so far I'm seeing pretty darn good success. Here are my interim goals. Right now my goal is to be under 340 by the time my wife and I go to Vegas on September 19th. And I think I got a pretty good shot at that. I've got about 4.5 pounds to go. And then I had set a goal way back here when I was in Charleston, when I was at like 365, to lose 30 pounds by the time I met with my coaching group again in November. So that would be at 335. Well, and that would be in November, like November 12th. So if I'm under 340 by the time we go to Vegas, and I can do a better job than I did in Charleston and Austin, I should be under 335 probably by the end of September, which gives me a whole other month and a half to go to be under 335. So I'll probably change that to 325 or 320. which to me is crazy to start off at 370. We'll call it 370 towards the end of July and have a shot at being under 300 by the end of the year. That's nuts to me. That's nuts to me, and I feel good. One of the things that I notice when I'm really dialed in is that a lot of the aches and pains that I have arthritis in my hips. I have some knees that are kind of janky from running when I'm too fat, things like that. All those aches and pains go away. So, I still have my Rockstar Pure Zero every day, one or two of those probably a day. If I go through a drive-through, it's still Jack in the Box. And if I get anything there, it's a Mellow Yellow Zero, because that's the only place you can get Mellow Yellow Zero in Washington, is through some place that has a Coca-Cola Freestyle machine. They don't sell it in bottles or cans. If they did, I would drink the crap out of it. I drink a lot of water a day. I've got my Keller Williams Labs tumbler here that I fill up with water and go through about 3 of those a day. If I'm out and about and I need something to eat, I will probably again go to Jack in the Box, because you can have breakfast all day, and I'll get probably 2 or 3 of their sausage patties with 2 or 3 eggs and 2 or 3 slices of cheese and a little bit of mayo, and I'll eat that. It's probably not the best, I will admit. It probably just comes in at maybe a 1-to-1 or maybe even a less than 1-to-1, depending on which calculator you use online to figure out the nutrition of all of that. And it will help me be satiated and not be hungry, and possibly help me lose weight. And I still feel like I get that reward of going through a drive-through. So the other thing that I've been doing is for meal prep, and I've got one left here. So this is about the 5th time I've recorded this video, because Camtasia's been wonky this morning. But those roll-ups are chicken breast that I get at Safeway, along with some light mayo to keep the fat down, and some spinach. Just kind of roll those up, and usually I'll have about 6 or 7 of those a day. Ends up being about a pound of chicken. So I'll eat those at work. It only takes about 5 minutes to prep the night before, so it's super easy for me. So far, I mean, let the graph speak for itself, but I think I've been doing pretty good. I feel good about it, and I feel like this is something that finally I can maintain. So anyway, happy Blue Friday, everybody. It's the first Blue Friday of the year, and wearing my Jimmy Graham jersey here to celebrate Mr. Jimmy Graham getting the first touchdown in the NFL, even though it was for the hateful Green Bay Packers last night, but still love Jimmy Graham. And so anyway, have a great day, everybody, and we'll try and get another one of these out soon. Take care. Oh, smash the subscribe button and click the little bell if you want to be notified of updates. I would certainly appreciate that. That would make my heart full if you would subscribe and get those little updates. Anyway, that's it. Thanks.